The general plan for the county. I think most of us have talked about it in the last few days. I don't know if you also have a copy of that.
Sorry.
What we're doing right now, we're just starting the discussion on where we're going to need to be in the future, and how do you want me to do this, Steve? Do you want me to hang this, or? You do whatever you want. Good more. Stand on the chair. So, one thing I want to do right off the bat is just set the record straight right now. We are in really, really good shape with our parks right now. We're in absolute no need right now for any new facilities, but with the way the county's grown, obviously down the road we're going to probably have to add some facilities. One requirement we do want to make when it comes to building more parks is the size. At least 10 acres of ground that we can actually use. We just don't have any need for little neighborhood parks that have a playground in them and that we maintain them. We need larger swaths of ground to actually play games on and things like that. So again, this is all very preliminary. The 1 to 10 year plan, we're looking for open space maybe in the next 7, 8, 10 years, depending on what happens out in the valley. We have identified a couple parcels that I know are being talked about through planning with some developments. The first one is this piece right here. That's right across the road from Cobblestone. There's a 10-acre piece there that I know a developer is looking at. For the first, 1 to 10 years, really what we'd be looking for is just open grass that we can do things like soccer, lacrosse, rugby, football, those type of things on. The second piece that we have identified is right across the road from Southfield Park. We do understand that we own that property now, the county does, but we do understand that probably has some ground there that's going to be tied to the bypass when that happens. The other thing I'd like to talk about is in the future, 10 to 20 plus years down the road, if the county keeps growing the way it is, we'll need another regional park eventually, something similar to Southfield Park or the new facility we just built. The piece that we're looking at that is the Sorensen development. Talking with Doug, they have put aside 70 acres? 70 acres for a high school park site, and I think between the two of us, I'm sure we could work in partnership with sharing fields and doing those type of things. 30 years down the road, kind of hard to predict, but we're looking at that piece up on the east side of town. What we're doing here with these pieces of ground out in the county is we're looking at where population might go. Up on the east side, up 12th South, still a lot of property up there that I'm sure will come across your desk. Jordanelle Basin, between Jordanelle, there's the Jordanelle area. The mine taming area is where I put it for some reason. I guess the only reason is that's about the only flat ground up there. So, down the road, 20 years from now, will we probably need another park? Yeah, I'm sure we probably will. But putting it in writing in the general plan, I think this is kind of the route we're looking to go right now. We would like some input from the council if you have any.
I was wondering if I could expand on that.
Thanks, Doug.
What do you need from us tonight? Just to follow up with you on any feedback we have?
Doug, do I need anything from him today?
Well, let me explain what kind of precipitated this. As you know, we've been talking about density and developments, and lowering densities and having less discretion on additional density bonuses. So the committee that was formed with Spencer and Steve and Danny and I talked about this, and I think the consensus was that there'd only be two options for density bonus. One would be dedication of a park in a place where the general plan showed that we need it, or fee in lieu of open space. So we're working through those issues. We're trying to figure out how that fee in lieu will be calculated. That goes to the Planning Commission for discussion tomorrow night. But I think the first step was to figure out from Tom, where do you want your regional parks? Now, a 10-acre piece is a big piece, and so we're kind of saying that the project in that area where we need a 10-acre park would get density bonus if they were big enough and could donate a 10-acre piece of ground. The county would still have to provide the money and the means to improve it, so it'd be water and ground, and then when Tom needs it, it'd be park. So that's kind of where we're heading with the idea.
Is the language limiting it to just for a county park, or is it for county use? For example, if Mike needed some salt storage barn or something like that?
Right now, it's just mostly for park. Yeah.
Well, I thought we was using this as catalyst as an open space fund too.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how, I'm going to need some counsel on that from our attorney's office, but if we collect a fee in lieu and it's in lieu of open space, what discretion do we have there? Is it improved open space? Is it Northfield's open space? I don't know.
That's where we got to reach some determination on before we approve it.
I thought the fee in lieu we would use that for purchase of development rights or donations like we did with the that's something along those lines. But we didn't iron all that.
Yeah, and that's the direction we're going, and so we got to have a nexus to make it legal.
Yeah. You hear that?
So I'll need the attorney's.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I have on that is if a developer comes in today and donates 10 acres and two things, we don't need the park space right now, or we don't have the money to develop that park space. What's going to be the requirement of maintaining that 10 acres from the park district to
so it doesn't turn into a patch of weeds?
which that's exactly what it's going to turn into. It's
We'll
gonna
buy you 10 goats.
10 goats. Sweet. Problem solved.
See, we're really preserving the rural and agricultural character.
We could put that out as a lease on surface property until we need it.
Yeah.
And let somebody lease it and farm it, or
As long as we have a plan in place to be able to maintain it while it waits for whatever action we take.
right. I think the next step then is to insert this into the general plan.
Yeah, we need to do a general plan amendment and come up with the map. I think we need to have IT, Ivan, work on that, and come up with a map and insert it in the general plan with some new language.
Do we have language in the general plan now relating to regional parks?
We have a parks element of the general plan, and Tom hopefully will update that with part of this as well.
I wanted to have this meeting before I
So
actually.
we could actually do this as part of the plan review in June and July. And that's when we do the amendment to the general plan.
Well, yeah, by November. July
By
is when we
November.
start, yeah. But we've got the 6-month moratorium on this, so we're kind of in a crunch. That's probably been 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Well, that's relating to the density bonuses, not the park.
Right.
The moratorium is not on the park.
But I kind of, before I could go forward and figure out how we were dealing with the density bonuses, I wanted to have this kind of figured out as well. So
Yeah.
You're gonna need to use this to calculate your fee in lieu, right? I mean, we're deciding what the park is,
Correct.
what improvements we're requiring with that, and that's how we're
Well,
probably gonna back it out. and
We
calculate
went
it.
away from the improvements because if we require the developer to provide a 10-acre park plus improve it, then the fee in lieu would have to include all that too. And so do you say for you to get a fee in lieu, you're going to have to pay for the base value of the ground plus $5.50 a square foot for an improved park plus the water. So it got kind of unwieldy.
Yeah. But we were gonna require the acreage, the water, right, and then an area for parking or such.
Well, we talked about parking, bonding for parks and bathrooms. or
Specific
restaurants
improvements.
for it, But I think I've kind of gone away from that just because how much more that complicates the fee in lieu.
Yeah.
So now I've just kind of said raw ground and water. And then we calculate the fee in lieu by raw ground and water base density versus the added value of the bonus. And then subtract the two. And if you guys want to give them a discount to incentivize them to pay the fee in lieu, then maybe it's 80% of that difference or something, I'm not sure.
We are gonna wanna make sure there's something in there though, that these development plans, that they get stuff, the water, the sewer, and the pressurized irrigation, and that type of stuff, and have a place that we can put parking.
Yeah.
We don't have to rip up roads later when we do wanna improve it.
Any other question for Tom?
So, sorry, Steve, I've got one more question. So, seeing what I've showed you today, or the last few days, am I okay to add this verbiage to the general plan just to start the ball rolling with Doug? And then obviously, before it goes final, we can make the changes
Yeah,
needed?
we add this and then it goes to the planning commission and then to the public hearing with the planning commission and then public hearing here at the council.
Yes. Okay. All right, I'll get that done.
Thank you, Tom.